Okay. Customer acquisition is hard, can be expensive, certainly. I know a thing or two about that. So I have a few folks coming to help you with acquiring new customers, which of course can be a challenge for all organizations. So without further ado, I'll introduce my friends.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone, and thank you so much for spending the next 20 minutes with us. My name is Etel Garcia, and I lead partner strategy for DTM, which includes Greenfield, SMB, and our indirect model. And I'm here today with Rehan Shah, who is the head of partner sales for Greenfield. But before getting into the agenda, let's talk about what really Greenfield means. When we talk about Greenfield, we talk about new customers for AWS, which means that we're not only talking about new logos for you that you might call that. It's not only zero billers, it's actually customers that are engaged a little bit with us, that are consuming a little bit of those services, but are not fully engaged on the AWS services journey. So Greenfield has a definition that could be slightly different to what new logos might mean for you as a partner. When we also talk about Greenfield, we talk about the full Greenfield opportunity across the entire customer segments. So from big companies and enterprise that are not yet into their AWS journey, to mid-market, to small and medium businesses, public sector, ISVs. So the landscape is really, really big. Today, we're going to be talking about how do we partner with you to engage with these new customers together. We're going to be talking about a specific use case that if you have seen the Matt Garmon keynote this morning, it has a lot of connectivity with that, right? He has spent a lot of time talking about AI, the opportunity, the agentic AI, the software, the hardware, the partners, the customers that are today looking for how do they embrace that technology into inside their customers. So also we're going to talk about how is that different across segments. It's very, very different to go after a big new to AWS customers on the enterprise space that if you are going after an SMB customer, right, you need to have different tactics, different go-to-market, different solutions. So always keep in mind that we're talking about new to AWS customers when you think about engaging with them. And also, how are we going to help you during that journey? What are the new programs? We're very excited to announce here at re:Invent this week a new Greenfield Partner Program that will bring tools, automated systems, benefits and incentives, and enablement to make sure that you understand how to go to market together with us. So let's start that journey. So first of all, across the entire event, you probably have seen a lot of stats about Gen AI, how are we growing, agentic AI adoption. But for Greenfield specifically, we're looking into those new customers to AWS, and we're working with a very specific firm that is helping us research that called Synoff. Synoff have gone through a lot of deep dive with big customers, and they still know that 53% of the database today that we call at Greenfield still don't have the AI skills to secure agentic AI or Gen AI usage, right? Partners are front and center to help us fill that gap. Also, there's still a lot of legacy systems. We can talk about migration, of course. That's another point of entry, but it's more comes later in the game. Again, when you think about Greenfield, the first workload is critical. 25% still of enterprise don't have their infrastructure prepared for AI. And also, we can talk about SMB. It's not here, but SMBs are investing massive amount of money for testing, piloting, and understanding better, and using IT and Gen AI better than more than previous years, right? And then last but not least, autonomous decisions. Gartner said that autonomous decisions are going to be made with agents. In a couple of years, 15% of them will be made by agents. What does that really mean? It's like we need to prepare these customers with all these opportunities through partners to just be ready for that. And 15 is just the beginning. 2 years come very, very fast. So I'm sure that is going to be growing eventually. But how do we connect this agentic AI or Gen AI opportunity with Greenfield? Well, we've been doing a lot of things over the last couple of years. Partners like you have been working with us very close, engaging with new customers across all the customer segments. And we have learned a lot of things. We have run pilots, we have new initiatives across geos, depending on the market, depending on the size of the customers. And there are 4 things that we have proof and test that are really, really important when we engage with customers. The first one, lead with business outcomes. We cannot go to a new AWS customer with a solution and talking about technology first. It's not about QuickSight, it's not about SageMaker, it's about what's the business problem that we're gonna solve. And then the technology might come first. Business transformation is the type of topic that we need to start talking about. The second one is systematic customer journey, clear scope. When we go after Greenfield, we have to be very concrete and very knowledgeable of what exactly is the offer that we're going to land in those customers. It needs to be scalable, predictable, repeatable. That way the customer is going to gain trust on how do you execute. They can calculate the ROI. They can be trustful that the outcome is going to come in short time. Again, going back to first workload, critical to engage with that customer first. Majority of the cases, after that, ending that first workload, something comes next. What's the second workload? What do I want to do? Eventually, every Greenfield customer could be a migration customer, but migration usually is not the first workload, right? That's why agentic AI is a tremendous opportunity as a point of entry with any customer. The third one is a strategic AWS alignment. Customers are very smart and savvy, and they know that you have a business path with AWS, that you understand their technology, that you work close with them. So they want you to be savvy about how to leverage program, how to get the best out of the benefits so they can offset the cost of that first workload. So you can work with them in case that there are additional help needed. So you know what do you need to do in case that they expand the blueprint working with AWS. Very important combination of things. And then last but not least, this conversation have come up in most of my meetings this week already. Greenfield and acquiring new customer, it's about integrated experiences and solutions. It needs to be seamless. That customer is going to come to you as a partner about the experience and how to do a project or how to solve a business outcome. It's not going to be in one project. You might need to bring ISVs with you in the journey. You might need to bring other partners in the journey. They don't mind. They're going to look at you to do that. But when you think about those 4 steps, those could actually vary depending on the customer segment that you go after. We also recommend be very, very specific when you think about Greenfield. Are you going after the higher top of the enterprise, or are you going after the small businesses? The difference are very, very big between those two. So those 4 steps are very, very different as well. And I'm going to let Rehan, with her experience, talk about those customer segments individually.
All right, thank you, Ethel. Appreciate it. So I'll get into a little bit of, as you think of Greenfield, think of customers by segmentation a little bit. You got the enterprise, large, medium, and small customers. And the needs, while they're the same, they're a little bit different. So think of the large enterprises where you're dealing with complex legacy workloads that are on-prem, that have to be modernized, that require for you to show up with a change management practice, really a lift and shift and also modernization. And there's lots of complexity in there. And just really understanding and unraveling that creates an outcome for the customer. In the mid-size, you may be dealing with organizations that want to adopt AI but do not have the resources. Need your expertise to figure out what are those use cases to help them accelerate business outcomes. In an SMB, lacking all the resources, your ability to scale, your solutions that scale for the customer makes a huge difference. And then also building a go-to-market that scales across customers, whether it's industries or small, medium-sized customers. Combining that with the co-sell methodology and the mental model working with AWS in the field, super important to scale your business. Now, let me talk about a customer use case. So our partner, Tropolite, which is a system integrated partner, working with an enterprise size organization that's really focused in the mechanical, electrical, plumbing space. Customer had some unique needs here. Legacy systems, they're trying to modernize, usual challenges. Along with that, customers looking for a way to modernize their approach, so the whole go-to-market, the workflow, all need to be relooked and reformed. In this case, TropleLeap stepped in, helped the customer build a smart asset management system to expedite their lifecycle management. And they did it by leveraging Amazon Bedrock and with SageMaker running on top of it. And then incrementally to that, just faster resolution for that customer, they developed an AI-driven log incident report system. So combining with transforming the business, the workflows, deploying for the customer a new lifecycle asset management, and AI-driven incident management really helped transform the full go-to-market for this traditional organization, which is large enterprise, and really got them positioned to create an outcome for this customer. Now, Ethel talked about a little bit of what to do. This is kind of the reverse order of that, what not to do, as you're thinking about how to scale. So do not ignore that self-guided small customer. Invest in your marketing. Invest in your SE approach. So that customer that's not having interactions with sales is talking to your marketing. Your marketing is leading them to landing pages. So how you guide them through that process that's digital and automated really creates an outcome for the customer. So be thoughtful of that. And that's majority of the SMB segmentation. The second one is understanding existing relationships. So you may be dealing with customers that have deep-seated relationships with a legacy partner that may be still fixated on a software resell, hardware resell. You're brought in to help them modernize. Not just even their go-to-market, but even their stack. And as you do that, be thoughtful of staying with the customer long-term. It may appear to be in the shorter run, this go-to-market is not profitable. It's a 12 to 18 month sales cycle, especially when you're dealing with enterprises. But really the ROI comes when that customer sees the value and starts to adopt the agentic AI motion, starts moving their data to the cloud. That's when you also unlock long-term profits and alignment and create outcomes for the customer. And then the third one is, as Ethel talked about this, Matt Gardman covered in detail today, AI wave, and our strategy and how we're aligning, and I know most of you are here for that yourself too. Have a go-to-market that starts, and that's AI first. That's very deliberate about having an AI mental model, and how you, whether it's your organization that you need to realign, your go-to-market messaging, your offerings, your solution, your approach, have that be AI first. So you are that thought leader that's helping customers unlock that new use case and creating value in the business. Super critical. Okay, so you may be wondering, this Greenfield partnership, how do I get started? A couple obvious things. One is to have a go-to-market. Second is make sure that you're leveraging what we have for you. So this partner Greenfield program that we're talking about, right? That's one that you get all over, leverage that. Whether it's that, or you leverage Greenfield funding specifically from MAP. Whatever that may be very deliberate, know what you have access to, have a go-to-market, have your headcount dedicated to that, have your paths to being a profitable business around Greenfield, knowing it's a long-term business. So let me just double-click a little bit about integrating AI into a partnership. And I want you to think about, Ethel talked about this at scale. Think about the enterprise organizations, mid-enterprises, SMB. Each and every single one of them, how do you build a go-to-market that aligns with an agentic AI? Essentially, you're the one that's helping the customer unlock the use case, right? And before you unlock the use case, you got to get them there. You got to show them some business value for them to invest any time or resources with you, right? So a good starting point is having that discussion, talking about the ROI, helping the customers rationalize relevant to their industry, what are the use cases that'll yield a faster ROI for them. And through that process, as the partner of choice, you help the customer stand up the POC. You white glove that experience for the customer. You stay with that customer from that POC conversion to actually landing into a workload that's creating an outcome for the customer. And as you do that, there's many mechanisms for it on our side. We've got Rapid for GenAI funding, we've got Partner Greenfield program. So all these incentives are in place for you as a partner to lean in and handhold the customer through the POC phase and really stick with the customer. Okay, so I give to you, Ethel.
All right, this is where the fun begins. So now you know how to approach Greenfield somehow, right? And we're going to use, agentic AI as an example. But this week we're presenting a new approach for Greenfield called Partner Greenfield Program. The way that we're approaching this is, what you have done before is you are approaching new customers from an opportunity level standpoint. You're leveraging funds, using programs that are helping you per opportunity, right? This is a new way to approach Greenfield. Think about this as a sustainable, multi-year way of building a Greenfield-based business practice. Think about business practice from a partnership standpoint versus an opportunity level standpoint. Greenfield is tough. We all know that. Greenfield takes more time, longer life cycles, cost of sale, higher. We want to make sure that we help you and we co-invest together to build a foundational practice within your company. You're going to own it end to end. We're going to help you build that. You're going to leverage existing programs per opportunity as well. Yes, you can do that. But we're going to bring together the capability, the guidance, the enablement, and additional benefits in a multi-year fashion. This program is based on contractual agreements. You're going to sign up for wins. You're going to sign up for specific targets. And we're going to help you on that journey. It means that you're already ready. It means that you're doing Greenfield already. But this takes Greenfield to another next level. It's very hard for two reasons. We always think in year, right? We have targets in year, and we have quota in year. We want to make sure that we stay with you through the journey of 3 years at least. We want to make sure that we can leverage the enablement and the benefits during a period of time that is going to be enough for you to build that practice. Why not? Maybe you can create a P&L based on this. So you will learn how to build that along the way, and you can become a subject matter expert on acquiring or engaging with new customers at AWS. Now, don't do that across the entire pyramid, right? Let's just start from the beginning. What is your subject matter expertise? Is this about agentic AI solution? That's a great point of entry. Is it about security? That's another great point of entry. It's about what do you have, what's your subject matter expertise, what's your capability, making that capability simple enough to help engage with new customers. So we're starting from the build side of it. We're going to help you make sure that that solution it's actually good for Greenfield customers. We're going to give you incentive across different layers to build your go-to-market motions. And we're going to help you sell with also our co-sell teams, specific teams that are focused with sellers on Greenfield. And then it doesn't stop on Greenfield. We want you to grow that customer. When that customer moves to that phase that we call engaged, it doesn't mean that the work is being done. You need to keep working with that customer. What's the second workload? What's the third workload? Is there a migration coming? That's really important. This is a little bit of the journey, right? This is a high bar program. You need to understand yourself if your company is ready for that, which is okay. If your company is not ready today, that's okay as well. We can help you through the journey of being okay. You don't need to sign up for something that you feel you're not ready for. Absolutely. But you can start building that muscle, and maybe in a few months, or in a year or so, you can actually jump into that. I challenge you all to kind of like go to evaluate where are you on that Greenfield journey. Let us know. Talk to your PDM, to your AM, to your PSMs. Talk to us, and we'll figure it out together. So first of all is that. Then we'll identify the solutions that you might have in the market to go after these new Greenfield customers. We have a ton of data that we might share in this program to understand what works, what doesn't, what is being done. Can you partner with another entity, other partner, other SaaS solution? And then let's go to market together, value props that talk about the same. If we're launching something with an AWS framework, let's launch it with the same flavor if we're going after new customers. Let's leverage other programs at an opportunity level. If there's going to be migration as part of that Greenfield approach, let's leverage MAP as well as part of that journey. Let's leverage POC. That's already there. And then finally, there's call to action. We have opportunities ready for you.
All right.
This gentleman does have those opportunities in his pocket.
All right, perfect. So listen, first take advantage of this opportunity, sign up for PGP before you leave. All of you should do that, right? It's the first call to action. Now that being said, guys, to do that, lean in. This is just calling out, lean in with the AWS sales teams. Your partners, sales managers, your account managers, they have a pipeline with no partner attached, but it's aligned by either industry or use case. So show up as that thought leader for Gen AI, show up as that partner who creates customers' outcomes and accelerates outcomes to customers, leading with agentic motion, right? Super important for you. But I hope you're as excited as we are. Sign up for PGP and thank you for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you.